for Raw's Payback pay-per-view. We got two of our titles going over there. The question is going to be, will it be Bray Wyatt who comes back, or will it be Chris Jericho? Because the US and WWE Championship will be contested there. That's the only reason I brought it up. But I thought it was necessary to say something about it because it was important. The first thing I'm going to talk about is AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. I like the match. I like Baron Corbin. I like AJ Styles. The build for this situation after Payback going into Backlash is good. And it's also good to see they're actually doing a Backlash pay-per-view. Instead of the one pay-per-view they were advertising for, and that was Battleground in July. Why would you announce Battleground in July when you need to announce Backlash for May? Why? Because they did that first. Stupid. But it's good to see they are doing Backlash, and AJ Styles will be going after the US title no matter who it is. Since it's a possibility that AJ Styles will go up against Chris Jericho if he does come from Raw, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Seeing Kevin Owens against AJ Styles, it's okay as well. I don't really have a problem either way. The match itself was fine. The ending was okay. And going from there, I'm fine with it. I didn't enjoy seeing Sami Zayn, though. Look, I don't hate Sami. But Sami Zayn really needs a change in his character. He really does. He's still not good enough to be interesting to me. Because he's using the same gimmick that he did over in Raw. An underdog. Where pretty much he's not. If he was an underdog, how come he's been getting all these matches? And most of the time he's winning. He's not an underdog. I just don't buy it. Now, the Rusev. I got to talk about Rusev before I forget. Rusev pretty much having an interview, and he hasn't been there for a while, saying, I want a title shot at Money in the Bank. Unless I get one, I'm not coming. I'll go home. Which kind of is hard to say because Lana is supposed to be airing soon. I don't know about that. That just doesn't make any sense. If your wife is going to be airing soon as a wrestler, and you're saying if I don't get what I want, by the time Money in the Bank comes out, I'm going to take my ball and go home, it doesn't really go very well with story. I'm sorry. Even though there isn't one, that is kind of a one. The Ascension versus Breezango, as well as the American Alphas versus the Colones. I'm lumping them together for a simple reason. Because this was supposedly one of the few times, if ever, the Beat the Clock challenge for tag teams. Now, I gotta say that I was actually quite interested in this. Because we've seen it with singles competitors. I don't remember there being one for tag teams. Not saying there hasn't been one. I just don't remember in recent memory of 5 to 7 years that this has been done. So it's actually quite interesting to see something that has not been done in very, very long time or ever. So in the end, American Alphas won against the Colones, which I wasn't surprised about. I didn't expect them to lose. What I was surprised to see that Breezango won over the Ascension, and now they got the shot at Backlash. What? I'm alright with that. I gotta say this, and I know a lot of people are gonna give me a little heat about this. Look, the fashion police of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. I haven't said his name in so long I forgot it. These guys, I always felt could have done something interesting. If anybody's ever seen, well, that's pretty much going pretty far back. But when you think about Brutus the Barber Beefcake, a guy who was a barber, who was a gimmick guy, but was a good wrestler, he had a stupid gimmick, but it was fun. When you see Breezango, when you see Fandango, when you see Tyler Breeze, you think Brutus the Barber Beefcake, a guy that is interesting, he's silly, but could go in the ring. I see these guys, I see an offshoot of him. And I always thought these guys should be pushed more because you look at New Day, they were considered a total joke on Raw. But look what they did. They managed to turn it around and make themselves epic. Now, I'm not saying Breezango will even come close to the New Day. They never will. But they can become entertaining. And that's what I felt should have been done for them. I mean, let's be honest. We needed more entertaining tag teams. We needed more entertaining characters. You look at Breezango as a fashion police. They're entertaining if they're given the time and a proper gimmick to work with. I just say. Let's see. How can I say this? Dolph Ziggler with Shinsuke Nakamura. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. As long as they keep packaging him as he is. He is a Japanese wrestler that needs to do his style that he's developed on NXT and what he developed internationally. If they go away from that, as I've done a video on Shinsuke Nakamura, will he make it? I've said it very clearly. If the guy is allowed to continue being packaged as he was in NXT, he'll do fine. The minute they go away from that, forget it. It's over no matter how much you love him. And when you see this segment between him and Dolph Ziggler, and I got to say this about Dolph. Dolph is the one that's getting people over. He is the resident enhancement jobber. That is his job. Is he ever going to be a main eventer? No. I'm saying this now. I know I've said this before. He always could be a main event jobber. Now, he's not even a main event jobber anymore. He's just an enhancement match guy. That's all he is. And I feel sorry for him. I really do. He's not a bad talent. But they won't do anything with him, so he's an enhancement match guy. That's the reason why they stuck him with Shinsuke Nakamura. He needs a beginner's feud on Smackdown. That will lead him into the future. And there you go with Dolph Ziggler. It wasn't a bad situation with him. I'm fine with it. As long as Shinsuke is packaged properly. If they let Dolph get too many wins and beatdowns on Shinsuke Nakamura, this was a joke. And he should have stayed on NXT. Now, the two things I need to talk about. Eric Rowan versus Randy Orton in a no disqualification match. Why? It wasn't necessary. This was stupid. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people say, well, it was a good match. And I'm not saying it wasn't. It was still stupid to actually do a match six days away. You could have built something else other than this. It wasn't necessary to show that Randy Orton can kick ass in different matches. We already know this. Now, mind you, it was a stupid match, but what happened afterward was not stupid. What happened with Jinder Mahal was not stupid. Now, I'm doing a video after this Smackdown review. You watch it, well, I'm going to talk about Jinder Mahal more in depth than what happened in this show. But essentially speaking, it was done okay. And I will elaborate on that in the debate of the week after this. It'll probably be uploaded afterward. Or maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know yet. Finally, the ending of the show, which I'm glad to see. Naomi versus Charlotte closed the show. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm glad they didn't put it in the middle of the show or near the end. Had to close. This had to close the show. My baby closed the show. Now, let's be honest here. I thought she was going to job to Charlotte. I thought that they were going to do something stupid. So at Backlash, you would have something interesting to be done. Charlotte versus Naomi. Naomi had to get her title back. And to try and knock the peg down a couple of notches for the queen, who believes she can do anything. I would like to see Charlotte versus Asuka. The Queen versus the Empress of Tomorrow. I want to see that one day. But we're still talking about Naomi versus Charlotte. Now, let's be honest here. And I love me Naomi. You guys know me. You guys know me. I love Naomi Knight. I do. But I'm not going to say she wasn't botchy in this match. She was a little botchy. She was. But so was Charlotte. In fact, you guys tell me below the reason why you love Charlotte so much. Because as I see it, truthfully, if you try to see it by storyline wise, by performance in the ring, by her mic skills, she's not that good. Maybe she needed a couple of more years on NXT. Now, mind you, when she was on Raw, she had someone to compensate for her. And that was basically the boss, Sasha Banks. She compensated for her. She hid a lot of her weaknesses because they had been working together so much in NXT. She could know how to hide her problems. But this is Naomi we're talking about. Someone who's been on the main roster for 8.5 years. Who really didn't have any real interaction with Charlotte. This is the first time they've really had real interaction. So she couldn't really cover all her problems. And when you see this, I'm sorry. Yes, my Naomi, my baby, had botched a little bit. Every wrestler does it, no matter if they're male or female. But when you see Charlotte, she was extremely botchy. She was. She did not look good in this match. And when it came down to it, and I still have no interest in Charlotte. She needs a total character change. Right now she does, because I'm bored with her. Not saying she couldn't still work in the ring. She's not bad. But I can see that she's botchy. She is botchy, and Sasha Banks covered for her a lot. Because in this match, Naomi had maybe one or at least two easily botched moves in the ring. Easily. There's no lie about that. She had at least 2 moves. But when it came to Charlotte, she had at least 6 moves that were very botchy. She threw one point, she grabbed Naomi and threw her into one of the calm down. She grabbed Naomi and threw her right into one of the corners on her side instead of on her back. Wrestlers are supposed to throw them onto their back so it'd be easier for them to brace themselves. They don't normally throw them to the side. And that was a really nasty botch she gave Naomi. That was. And she did at least 5 more throughout the entire match. Now, of course, Naomi didn't, pretty much she did not. She did not job here. But neither did Charlotte. What did we get? We got, we pretty much got maybe a small spirit squad. And that makes me upset. A squad of women who are basically disgruntled going after Naomi and going after Charlotte. Now the thing that gets me, look, you guys know how I felt about Tamina and Naomi. These two could easily do a feud. Or at least have matches where it's family to family, where they don't have to have hatred. But I felt like, and I'm not even sure about this, I just felt like her being with them didn't really fit her. They just threw her in there just because. Because I understand the... calm down. Look. Carmella, I understand. Natalya, I understand. James Ellsworth, I understand. But Tamina made no sense. Tamina does not make sense being with them. She doesn't. Becky Lynch, I believe, should turn heel, and she should be with them better than Tamina being with them and being a heel. I'm sorry. It does make some sense that they're angry because Charlotte thinks she's better than everybody. But seeing Tamina there didn't make any sense to me personally. Whether she put her hands on her or not. And talk about Naomi. It just didn't feel right seeing her in that situation in the first place. But this is just my point of view. You guys tell me below, and I hope you enjoyed this Zane's view. Please give me a comment or two. Give me a thumbs up. And I don't usually say that, but once in a while I should say it. And look for the Jinder Mahal debate of the week. That should be out after this or tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good night.